Hi everyone, welcome back. Felicia here. And you guys, one of the questions I get asked a lot, and not even just questions, but statements from friends, family, people who follow me on social media. People are developing a very strong interest in house plants, whether they're faux plants or real plants. And I'm always told by people, always, I would love to get a plant, but I kill everything. I've had plants in the past, killed them. I don't know how to take care of plants. I would love to have plants, but I just don't know how to take care of them. And I always tell people, even though a lot of the times I feel like it falls on deaf ears, I tell people anyone can have a plant, anyone can grow almost any plant if you have the right growing conditions, of course. So today I thought I would share just a few quick tips that have helped me in my plant journey. I've been a plant parent now for about almost 3 years, and I've learned so much along the way from watching videos on YouTube, reading books, doing a lot of research. Again, anyone can take care of almost any plant with the right conditions. So today I thought I would share just a few quick, simple to follow, easy tips that'll help you take care of a plant. So let's jump right into it. Let's talk about water. A lot of times your plant may suffer from overwatering or underwatering. Now I know that sounds crazy. How do you know if you're overwatering? How do you know if you're underwatering? What? How? So one of the easiest ways to know if your plant is thirsty, if it needs to be watered, is just to simply pick it up. Now, you see I have my ZZ plant here behind me, and I keep almost all of my plants in a nursery pot, and then I place that in a decorative pot. So this is the nursery pot right here, and then that is the decorative pot there behind me. A lot of the times when you buy a plant, it comes with a nursery pot. Sometimes it's like shoved deep down in that plant pot, and you have to like really tug and use all your force to get it out. Let me put this back, it's a little heavy. And there are a few benefits to keeping your plant in a nursery pot like what I have here behind me. One of those things is it's easy to water it. You just simply take it out of the decorative pot, you water it with a hose, a sink, whatever, just water it and then you see the water coming out. With nursery pots, one of the main things I like about nursery pots is that it comes with drainage holes. The little holes at the bottom, you can watch the water run out. Now, a lot of decorative pots, they do come with at least one drainage hole, but a majority of them have no holes at all. In the very beginning of my plant journey, one of the major mistakes I made was overwatering my plant, and of course the plant suffered and I don't have that plant anymore. So I say all that to say, if you have your plant in a nursery pot, all you have to do sometimes is just kind of pick it up. If the plant feels really light in that nursery pot, then you know it's time to water that plant. That's one easy trick that you can tell your plant is thirsty. If the pot feels pretty heavy, that means there's still some water and some moisture in that pot, and you can probably go another few days without watering it. Another classic way to tell if your plant needs some water, just take your finger, stick it in the soil, stick it about 2 inches down, and if your hand comes out pretty dry, you know that your plant needs some water. If it comes out with a little bit of moisture, a little bit of soil stuck to your finger, again, give it a few days before you water your plant again. One cool thing about some plants, like this pothos plant here, I'm showing you my neon pothos, the plant does let you know when it needs water. And that's one of the main things I love about the pothos plant, especially my neon pothos. Whenever it needs water, it gets so droopy and sad looking. I hate to see my plant look like that. However, I do like to see it look like that because it lets me know, okay, I need to go ahead and water this plant. So I never overwater that plant. I never underwater that plant because it just tells me when it needs water. So once you add water to your plant, of course, it perks right on up, and then you're good to go for about another week, week and a half. So make sure you're giving your plant sufficient water. Tip number 2 is light, which goes hand in hand with giving your plant enough water. You also want to make sure you're giving your plant an adequate amount of light. You don't want to give it too much light. You don't want to give it too little light. Depending on the type of plant you have, it'll let you know how much light you need to give it. Sometimes when you purchase a plant from big box stores, they would have a little card in the plant that lets you know how much water to give it, how much light. If it's a plant like, say, for example, a ZZ plant or a snake plant, those plants, they do thrive in low light conditions, but they also benefit from having some light. Right now, the room that I'm sitting in, it gets a ton of natural light. I'm not even using a ring light right now. Gets a ton of natural light, which this plant loves so much, and it has grown so much using this natural light. But my second ZZ plant, I have it a little closer to my grow lights, which I turn on at night, and that plant benefits from the grow light. So again, you can use natural light on certain plants. If you need some additional light, you can use your grow lights. I live in an area that only gets maybe a few hours of direct sunlight during the day, and then that's it for the entire day. So I have to supplement my light with some artificial light. So I'm probably showing you here my little plant stand with a ton of light. I keep the grow lights on for maybe 3 to 4 hours at a time, and my plants like it. I feel like my plants are kind of trained with that amount of light, and it works great. So during the day, I allow it to get some natural light, and then at nighttime, I give it some additional artificial light. So light is tip number 2. And then the last tip I have for you is just simply pruning your plants. They're naturally going to drop leaves. The leaves are going to yellow. They may brown. Now, sometimes depending on the type of condition, brown leaves, yellow leaves, what have you, there may be certain things going on with the plant that you want to give it a little bit of attention to, like potentially root rot, overwatering, underwatering. But if you're just experiencing some yellowing leaves, dropping leaves, is completely natural, especially in the cooler months. A lot of my plants have dropped leaves. A lot of my plants have yellowed leaves. So whenever your plant has those yellow leaves in particular, you just want to go ahead and remove them. A lot of times with yellow leaves, all you have to do is just simply pluck them off. That's all. And the benefit of removing yellow leaves, I mean, one, aesthetics. You don't want to see a beautiful green plant with yellow leaves on it. But a lot of the times you want to make sure your plant is getting all of that energy on the healthy leaves. You don't want to waste any of that good energy on those yellow leaves that's already dead. So just kind of remove those leaves and keep it pushing. All right, guys, those are all the tips I have. Of course, there's a lot of other tips that go into, proper plant care and taking care of your plants. And a lot of these tips do depend on the type of plant you have. You have pretty simple and easy plants like pothos plants, ZZ plants. But then, of course, you have the plants that need a little bit more care than the 3 tips that I just gave you, like fiddle leaf figs, for example. I would love to have a fiddle leaf fig plant, but I'm a little bit intimidated by it. And honestly, I just don't want to deal with that kind of stress right now, but I do plan on getting one day. So let me know if you have any questions in the comments. If you want me to go into further detail, let me know. If you want me to cover a specific plant that I have in my possession, let me know as well. I'll be happy to cover all of that for you in another video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.